Story of Yeshua, Part 3. Alright, family. The story starts to pick up a little bit at this point. This is where things start to turn around a little bit, to where I started to kind of figure myself out, to start to, to realize that I wasn't what people was telling me I was. Now, I didn't figure out who I was at this point, but I can honestly tell you, family, it was at this time to where the whole ideologies of who I might be started to really flood my mind at this time. And I will tell you that it started directly after I watched that movie about Jesus and how he was crucified and the things that he went through in his life and all this and this and that. And I cried through that movie, y'all. I cried through that movie several times because it all felt so familiar. And I know a lot of times people be all the time trying to say things like, oh, you just saying that. But you wouldn't know unless you was me. You wouldn't know what I felt. You wouldn't know what I've seen. You wouldn't know because you are not me. And you can't tell me what I felt. You can't tell me what I seen. You can't tell me because you don't know me and I don't know you. And you don't know my story and you haven't seen or you haven't felt or you haven't been through anything that I've been through. So, with that being said, those type of comments and those type of mindsets can just go out the window because you don't know. You don't know anything. You see what I'm saying? But that movie kind of opened my eyes, family. Now, at this time, as a child, I remember just having this strange-ass feeling and always asking myself, would I do that? Would I do that if I had to? And I remember I would always say things like, yeah, if I had to, I would always say things like that. Now, let me get this straight. In this day and age, I would not sacrifice myself for nobody. You see what I'm saying? I would rather go to war and get a warrior's death. I'm not going to let nobody just sacrifice me like that. You see what I'm saying, fam? So in these days, in this day and age, if it ever came to a standstill like that, nah, fuck that, family. You gonna either wipe us all out in a war, or you know what I'm saying? That's it. I'm not finna do none of that sacrifice and shit because all that's gonna do is make the cycle start all over again, family. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Make the cycle start all over again. This shit has to be ended the right way. But anyways, fam, so that movie right there kind of opened my eyes. It kind of made me see things differently, and this is when I really started to get the downloads of being, a righteous person, a loving person. And this is where it started, fam. You see what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I remember at this point, I was in the 2nd grade, and I started to get friends. I started to make friends. I started to become more of a sociable person. I wasn't so quiet. I wasn't so in the shell. I was more of an enjoyable person, and I started to make friends and whatnot. And I started to have my first crushes and things of this nature. So at this point in my life, family, things really started to turn around for the better. You see what I'm saying? For the better. But I had this evil-ass teacher, and her name was Miss Holloway, and I couldn't tell you what race she was. She was something weird, but I guarantee you she was some type of extraterrestrial, family. She was some type of ET, because she was just so mean and so evil for no reason. And she was another one of those people that seemed like she would always try to find a way to get me in trouble for something. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the time, no matter what it was, she was always trying to fuck with me. And that shit used to bother me. It used to bother me. I remember how she would always say that something was wrong with me, how I wasn't smart, She used to always try to have parent-teacher meetings and always recommend medications and all kinds of things of this nature. They was always trying to medicate me, family. They always wanted to medicate me all the time. They always wanted to give me some type of medication, talking about it's going to help me focus better. It's going to help me do this. It's going to help me do that. But another thing that I give my people props for is they never let them give me none of that medication, none of that shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So I can say that I went all through school with all my ADHD with no medication. So I had to figure that shit out on my own, family. I didn't use no medicine. So for all my future parents out there, my future moms and dads, you don't have to put your child on that medication for them to be successful in school. If I did it, your child can do it as well. I didn't have any medication. You must understand that medication damages your child. It damages them. It does not help them like these doctors try to say, fam. You have to realize that. But anyways, I never had to take the medication, but since my mom didn't want to put me on a medication, they had put me in this program, in this weird program to where they took me out of class, right? They took me out of class and took me to this counseling room down there, to where they would ask me a lot of questions and you know what I'm saying, they would put a lot of things in front of me and see how I reacted to it and things of this nature. And it was almost like a getaway from class, to where it was a bunch of toys and things in there. Like, they tried to make it seem like it was something fun, when really, when I think about it to this day, I think they were studying me. Because they would also ask me a bunch of weird questions, like they asked me if I was seeing the words backwards and things like this, all kinds of strange shit. And it used to always be this black man, this black bald-headed man. They used to always come in there, and he used to seem so fucking mean, like he hated me. You see what I'm saying? Like he didn't want to be there. It was a black man, and he was kind of buff, and he was kind of stocky, kind of looking, and he was just mean, fam. He always had this evil-ass look. Every time he would see me, he would look so fucking angry and evil. And I used to always be I was scared of this man, to be honest with y'all. I was scared of this man because I just didn't like him. I didn't like his vibe. I didn't like his energy. But he would come every once in a while, and he would be asking me super special questions. I can't really remember the things that he would ask and things that he would say, but I just remember how he looked. And he was scary, family. He was scary. You see what I'm saying? And plus, I was young as hell. But they would allow me to bring some of my friends in that class with me. Like, they would let me bring like 3 or 4 friends with me. And I remember soon as I became that student that was getting to go to this special room and play with all these toys and shit, that's when everybody really wanted to be my friend. So this kind of gave me an opportunity to be the cool kid in class. You see what I'm saying? So I kind of liked having that power, because everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really take advantage of it, but it kind of made me feel better, because now people wasn't making fun of me. People wasn't bullying me and shit, because they wanted to be one of the ones to come in that special class with me. You see what I'm saying? So this kind of gave me a leeway to kind of break out of the quiet kid, the one that gets bullied. But on top of that, I was kind of already making friends, but I didn't have a lot of friends. But I never really had a lot of friends, family. Never. You see what I'm saying? I never really had a lot of friends. But that little class right there kind of opened me up to being able to make more friends. And my year kind of turned around even better at that point, you see. But the weird thing about it is I can't never really remember too much of what actually happened when I went to those classes, to those schools. And now that I do more and more research, I find that a lot of children that kind of had the same issues, the same problems as I did, all kind of went to those special classes. And we never really did any type of work in there or anything. It was kind of more like they was just asking me questions and seeing how I reacted to certain things and stuff like that. we never really did any work. So it was kind of like they took me out of class completely just to try to study me. You see what I'm saying? And while they was doing the questions and shit, none of my friends was in there at that time. You see what I'm saying? It was just me and the people that was asking me the questions. But I remember that shit like it was nothing. But I can't remember too much of what went on. All I can remember is all the toys and the questions that they were asked, but I can't remember nothing more than that.